industry become more important under the expansion of tourism industry. But have you ever considered the environmental impact brought by planes, such as greenhouse gases and wastes?
To gain a competitive advantage and sustain the business, more airline companies are now working on a corporate social responsibility (CSR) to voluntarily work on the environmental and social issues.
Today, let's focus on the environmental impact and have a look on what the airline companies are doing and see whether the Hong Kong-based airlines are doing enough. Hong Kong is an important international transportation hub, especially in Asia. The Hong Kong International Airport handles around 1,100 flights every day, connecting more than 180 destinations worldwide. Airline industry in Hong Kong is expanding in size. Nowadays, there are 4 Hong Kong-based civil airline companies, including both full-service airline and low-cost carrier. They are Cathay Pacific, Dragon Air, Hong Kong Airline, and Hong Kong Express. However, the aviation market is very competitive. There are other international carriers. If an airline does CSR, it can gain a competitive advantage as CSR can contribute to long-term value of an airline.
It seems that CSR is important, but what is CSR?
CSR stands for Corporate Social Responsibility. The World Business Council on Sustainable Development said corporate social responsibility is the continuing commitment by the business to contribute to economic development while improving the quality of life of the workforce and their family, as well as the community and society at large. To be clear, it is a form of corporate self-regulation integrated into a business model. CSR aims to embrace responsibility for corporate actions and to encourage a positive impact on the environment and stakeholders, including consumers, employees, investor communities, and the entire society. Although a successful CSR strategy needs a lot of resources and collaborations between departments and organizations, it contributes to a sustainable development of business and can enhance the profitability and value of an airline.
But how can you do it? Is it like kind of magic? Wingardium Leviosa!
You are not Harry Potter! Implementing CSR could bring several benefits to the business, including internal and external benefits. For the internal benefits, it can enhance the company's reputation and maintain a customer loyalty. Customer loyalty means the promise of consumer to maintain a relationship with a specific airline, which means that they are coming back and purchase again. There's a research in 2012 shows that respondents think that airlines should lower the pollution caused by their business activities using renewable energy or reduce the use of energy because it is their social obligations to society. Another survey conducted in 2002 also shows that when the price and quality of airline were similar, 84% of the Americans would purchase the one doing CSR.
I got it!
CSR can enhance the company's reputation and maintain their customer loyalty. These can enhance their competitive advantage.
Moreover, CSR usually includes good practice to utilize the resources, such as using less fuel and minimizing the waste, which helps the company to lower the operation costs. Implementing CSR policy could also stimulate business growth of the company, as stocks suggested that the investors are drawn to socially responsible companies, which might create the opportunities for them to invest in business.
For the external benefits, as CSR strategy care about the stakeholders including the entire society, the suppliers, and consumers. The actions such as education can improve the social conditions and even the economy. With such a good environment, it creates more potential customers and skilled workers, which brings business opportunities to the operations.
Coase point out that the airline industry is more concerned with environmental issues than the economic or social implications. For the airline industry, which is highly depends on fuel consumption to operate, what kinds of the impact will they bring to the environment?
The airline industry has complicated relationship with the environment. The impact could be divided in 3 categories: emission, noise, and waste issue. First, let's see how airlines affect the emission. Airplane burn fuels to support the entire aircraft. The combustion results in emissions such as nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur oxide, unburned hydrocarbons, smoke, and particulate matters. And all of these chemicals will affect the air quality. The emissions from taxiing and takeoff the aircraft make airports the largest source of pollutant and affect the public health. For example, Los Angeles Airport is the largest source of nitrogen oxides. In California, the third largest source of air pollution is carbon monoxide, which is also an emission from airlines. A study found that nitrogen oxides can cause damage to our respiratory system. These chemicals will cause acid rain and acidify the ecosystem as well.
Oh my god, I couldn't breathe now!
In 2013, the Air Transport Action Group announced human activities produce over 36 billion tons of carbon dioxide, while flights globally produce 705 million tons of CO2. Air transport accounts for 2% of global man-made carbon dioxide. In 1999, on the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, scientists said that impacts on climate change from air transport could be several times greater than the emission of greenhouse gases alone. The emissions deposit directly into the upper atmosphere, which is a very sensitive region. Climate change brings a lot of side effects like
I know, like rising sea level, shifting vegetation belts, damaging the biodiversity, melting of ice, affecting the ocean circulation, spreading disease, more tropical storms and hurricanes.
but there is a rapid growth of air transport, increasingly by 3% per year. Let's use the fully electric A380 as an example. It uses much energy as 3,500 family cars.
I guess long haul flights bring more effect to the climate change than the short haul flights, right?
Yes, long-haul flights generally fly in a higher altitude, so that their emission results in a greater concentration. Apart from emission, airline industry also generate noise. There are three main sources of noise, which are the airflow around the aircraft, engine and other machine, aircraft system. Imagine when you're sleeping or working and there is a fly flying around your ears.
It will be very disturbing. And now it is not just a fly, it's an airplane. This noise should have caused my hearing impairment, hypertension, annoyance, sleeping disturbance, my school performance, failure to attend a practice class, my project, my GPA. And airline produce a lot of waste too.
Like from aircraft maintenance, onboard service and airport operations such as meal box, water bottle, tissue paper. These all add up the number of wastes.
I didn't realize the airline could bring such impact to the environment. They should have do something. Can you tell me what CSR practice have been done by the four airlines in Hong Kong?
Now, let me tell you what Hong Kong-based airlines and international airlines are doing to cater this problem.
Just do it!
There are many ways to lower the emission and minimize the impact of climate change. In Hong Kong, CIS committed in carbon reduction charter to reduce greenhouse gases emission and joined the Global Observing System Project IAGOS and support the climate change study. For Hong Kong Express, they will take consideration of the choice of flights in the future to reduce the consumption of fuel and reduce the carbon emission. However, with reference to international airlines, there are more ways to reduce the greenhouse gases. Qatar, KLM, and American Airlines have effective measures like choice of aircraft, joining fuel optimization program, and develop better technologies to lower the emission.
Among the airlines, Brussels a good example. They considered the choice of aircraft and technology by designing a fuel-efficient procedure for pilots to minimize the use of fuel. They reduced the weight of flight using lighter food trolley, lighter seats, and portable water so that they could lower the use of fuel, produce less greenhouse gases. Moreover, they establish a carbon dioxide offsetting program. Their clients can calculate the carbon footprint of the freight, and then they can pay to compensate the emissions. The carbon credits will finance the reduction plan and support the clean technology in developing countries. For example, their first project is in Uganda in Africa. They developed a wood stock project and encouraged the locals to use less firewood.
To reduce the noise, both American and JAL are using new aircraft, which are low-noise aircraft, and JAL also adopted the noise abatement operational procedures to further minimize the noise produced.
Back to Hong Kong, CX also has 8 noise reduction approaches, such as electronic technology, e-truck. It seems that Hong Kong are doing the same practice as international airlines. However, only CX has the practice to reduce noise. Other companies, including the low-cost carriers, should pay more effort in it. For example, establish strategies and encourage low-noise operation procedures as JAL do. In the section of waste, airlines in Hong Kong have similar actions as international airlines. International airlines such as Qatar and Brussels do have the practice of reduce and recycle. They reduce paper used by replacing tickets, leaflets, menus, and payslips into electronic format. They separate and recycle waste. Qatar transforms waste into energy, while Brussels cooperates with non-profit organizations and donates the mobile phone to Child Cancer Fund. For ANA and Asiana Airlines, they even have the practice to recycle aircraft engine. Back to Hong Kong, CA recycle glasses bottles, cans, blankets, and seaplane suits. They minimize the waste with less replacement of magazine and using suitable materials such as organic cotton for sleeping suits and biodegradable plastic cups. Moreover, they also work with non-profit organizations, Food Angels, to redistribute the surplus food and meal box for elderly and low-income families. Apart from the above issues, airlines also work in other sections, such as biodiversity. Airlines in Hong Kong don't have any special actions. Only CX announced the action of stop transporting shark fins, but still, it's far from enough. For other international airlines, such as KLM, they are working with World Wide Fund for Nature on preserving programs. Also, they involved environmental protection into their operations by providing sustainable in-flight catering using sustainable species of fish, soya, and palm oil. Back to Hong Kong, the airlines could have worked with the environmental group. They could also learn from other airlines and implement the green ideas into their operation and strategies. There are some more measures to protect the environment. The KLM stimulates and supports scientific research of new technologies and also the development of the aircraft of futures. For JAL, they organize the environmental awareness program for children and other environmental education activities for employees and their families to promote the ideas of environmental protections. For the airlines in Hong Kong, they are also doing well and they have some similar practice as international airlines. Hong Kong Airline, they work with Green Monday and organize the Embrace the World competition to educate students and promote the green behaviors. For CX, they also work with organizations such as Global Observing System Project to participate in the climate change studies.
To conclude the above findings, airlines in Hong Kong are not doing enough on CSR practice. One of the difficulties might be the financial burdens and lack of support.
There are several ways that airlines should do to improve their CSR practice. They should introduce the CSR concept into their company strategies. At the moment, only CX has a clear strategies and planning. For the rest of the company, they don't have much CSR practice and lack in planning.
To learn from the cases, Hong Kong airline companies could cooperate with different communities. They could work with the alliance. Alliance could connect different companies, suppliers, and organizations to execute the CSR measures. Also, Alliance could provide support to the airlines and enhance their viability.
The offsetting program of Brussels is another good example to promote CSR. These programs allow consumers to support the environment as well as the company. At the same time, enhance the consumer loyalty through participation.
To evaluate the overall performance of environmental measures in Hong Kong, there is still space for improvement, especially when the low-cost carrier sectors are expanding in size.
LCC of Hong Kong, like the Hong Kong Express, should work on the CSR in response to the environmental impact and maintain a competitive advantage.
Airlines in Hong Kong should take notes of other international airlines' practice. Therefore, they can learn and enhance their CSR practice.
Thank you for watching and hope you enjoy our video.
ありがとう。多謝。Spasiba.
До свидания!